Someone used the back of their iPhone to play tic-tac-toe. Why? I write on the, oh God, with what? What did they use the back of, what did they use to play tic-tac? This is the most metal game of tic-tac-toe ever. I write on the back of my phone, like with the pen, like retractable pens not clicked out. Like, I don't know why, it just helps me like visualize things. But even if I wrote on the back of my phone with a pen, it wouldn't do this. How did this happen? A very big bird. Yeah, this is what happens when you insult Sesame Street. Apparently, putting maple syrup and a laptop in the same moving box is a bad idea. No! Really? Rest in peace, ThinkPad, I will always love you. Laptop in a non-climate controlled closet in India, left untouched for over 10 years. Is it still running? Genuinely curious. I think my dad had this laptop. 220 volt PoE injector? Oh dear sweet Jesus, no. I'm gonna take a second to explain this. PoE is power over Ethernet. It's a fairly tightly controlled system of giving wireless access points and security cameras and stuff like that power over some of the unused wires in internet cables, Ethernet. It goes from 15 watts all the way up to 60 watts. DC power. And it's very tightly controlled, like the device has to request power, etc. This is just dumping mains power, wall power, directly into tiny braided 24, 28 AWG wires. And yeah, this is a Jesus cable. You will see Jesus when you plug it in. Client states, laptop behaves erratically when plugged into USB-C dock. Found your issue. What in the, I wanna clean my keyboard now, and I don't have this soup. Dried soup in it. Keeping up with my high fiber diet. Network engineers, we're gonna have a talk about the fiber. Is that fiber cable? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, all right. I saw a termination over there. Careful with the bend radius of that stuff. But no, I love it when network engineers make the fiber joke. I just also slightly groan every time it happens. Laptop screen upgrade. Nah, this is cool. This is it needs to be more centered and mounted. But I don't know if anybody here has heard of Cyberdex. There's a very cool website I've been a part of for ages called Hackaday, and they feature Cyberdex every once in a while, and it's basically bolted together discrete components to create your own computer laptop thing. Are they practical? Usually not. Do they have every port in existence? Yes. Do they have every part that person wants on their laptop? Yes. Just delidded my first CPU. How did I do? I'm not bad. I don't know if I've ever actually done this. I feel like I should at some point, but I don't think I've ever actually done this. Felt too bad for the hardware. An X1 Carbon, that's a very nice ThinkPad. We got in for repair with some light bleed. What in the, no. For those unfamiliar, light bleed is when an edge-lit display, or a backlit display in general, bleeds light from the edges, especially on dark screens, and you'll see like a sort of halo around the corners and stuff. This is not light bleed. This is like a dying display controller or some sort of damage to the voltage. No, I have no idea. If this isn't liquid damage, because that just causes all sorts of gremlins. This is literally a fault with random arrays of pixels getting less power than others, and it's a pretty starry background thing, but it's not at all usable for a laptop. It's 2023, and I hate SanDisk for still using a design like this. I would get mad at this, but USB hubs are $6. And I'm not one for dongle life. Like, I hate dongles. I got a laptop that has real USB ports and a real HDMI port, etc. But if you need two of them right next to each other, just USB hub. Not worth it. Bonfire lit. I've never played Dark Souls and I never will. But if I remember correctly, the bonfires like save your progress and heal you up. I think this is going to erase all of your progress, i.e. data, and kill you. I have an announcement. I will no longer be letting the cats use the tuner to warm. Sorry. Got a hairball just looking at that. I'm getting tetanus from looking at that. Oh my God. Where is this? Florida? You think I'm joking, but everything rusted if you were within 5 miles of the beach. It was wild. More than just a loose HDMI port, I'm surprised this thing still even works. What the frack? Yeah, I'm just gonna use this as a segue real quick into the number of problems that like really finicky devices have is made less excusable. Like if you make an unreliable device, that becomes less excusable because there are machines out there that have been through rust, been through this, been 10 years in an uncontrolled server closet, and possibly still run. So like, make good devices or don't bother. Lost one to the washing machine gods today. Why did you have a CPU rattling around in your pocket? Like, I understand like punching a hole in one and putting it on a keychain, like that's cool. But like at that point you wouldn't be upset if it got a little scratched up. What? Why? It goes from the box to your gloved, static-free hands to the socket. The end. Someone found this by magnet fishing in a lake. Oh, the FBI is gonna want to take a look at that. A funny story a unnamed friend of mine told me at one point when they were working at a small company that did a thing that I won't say for identification. Their boss had like several computers in his office, and one day he just like randomly sold the company and just left. And they didn't hear from him anymore. And they went in there and they started like poking around on the machines, and there was like stuff from the Department of Defense and stuff like that on them. And they just quietly turned everything off, took everything out back, threw all the parts into the dumpster, took the hard drives, I think drilled holes in them, and then just like burned the crap. I don't remember what they did, but they just destroyed it as much as possible. We're like, we're all just gonna agree that never happened. RTX 3080 Ultimate, Gore Cooling Edition. That's enough sauces. That's enough sauces. You can't just keep strapping crap to it. If your case doesn't have enough cooling, you just need a better case. My Lenovo Yoga started shutting down randomly. It then went all Matrix on me before dying completely. Aw. Oh yeah, that's a GPU. That's a shame, I have one of those. It used to be my consulting carry everywhere laptop. Customer complained about poor internet connection. Patch cable sitting on the electric baseboard heater just might have been the issue. Oh goodness. This is tasty melted cable. Yeah, you can't really start complaining about crosstalk when the entire cable is warmed soup. Spilled acetone on my laptop. Oh, I'm sorry. And now it's mocking me. Wow. Well, spill more. Finish it off. My mom hasn't cleaned her computer since the day she got it, and she got it 6 years ago. Okay, this depends on the cleanliness of the house, because I definitely have computers I haven't cleaned in probably 2 or 3 years. But they're fine, because I have the magnetic dust screens and stuff on them, and I can see through the window, and I think they're fine. This, on the other hand, this raises questions about what else is your mother breathing in? Because every time you see the inside of a computer, like, you're breathing that stuff in too. Is this how monitor arms work? Okay, I didn't know there were 3 images, and I recorded a whole thing for the first one because I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. And then I realized there was a second image in which they turned the VESA thing into a table. Okay, fine. And then the third one in which they put a non-VESA monitor onto the table. And look, I'm all for using VESA things in creative. I use a VESA mount with a tray for my laptop. I use VESA mounts to hold a strap on the back of my iPad that is also a hand strap for when I carry it. This is not one of those times. FTP server in a client's mop and broom closet. It's always the client mop and broom closet. Whoa. Is that oh God, that's a Dimension 4100 or GX 260? Oh God, no, it's smaller than that. Oh, I have no idea what that is. Too damn old is what it is. That is the technical term for it, is too damn old. The amount of things done to this GPU and it's still functional. See, I spelt coffee on my GTX 1060. What do I do? Oh, this one. It's been like 6 months. I haven't cleaned it in like 3 years, to be honest. There's most likely a mouse in the PSU shroud. Sport team. Oh, it also got flooded like 2 years ago. How TF do you even? A fire sprinkler went off on it. Just get this guy like an Itronics Go Book or some other military laptop because clearly he lives in a war zone. USB 3 connector. Oh no. Okay, all right, I'm gonna explain. You see the blue thing on the left? That has a bunch of pins or JST, I think they're JST connectors now. And they go into the cable and the whole thing just broke off. It is gone. It no longer work. Yes, the best NAS. Oh, I gotta send this to people at work. Oh my God. This isn't real. This isn't real because it's a hard drive and that would have a SATA connector and a power connector and that just has an Ethernet line going. It could be a Raspberry Pi in there. Oh God. Business grade is usually 48 plus ports. I need 44 more of these. Oh my sweet Jesus Christ. Oh, this hurts No! Are you power lining? Okay. Sorry, technical explanation. I know some people like the tech explanations, but I still feel bad sometimes. These are power line adapters, I think. And what they do is they modulate the power inside the wires of a circuit, like all the outlets in a specific room, or sometimes you can kind of get it through a house, so that you can have Ethernet through the power lines, and you put another one of these on the other end to catch the modulated signal. And like, I have a set. You can use them for like one-off things, like you use them for some back then stuff. It's not like a reliable thing. It's not a great thing, but it's cheaper than a couple $1,000s to run cable, especially in buildings where you don't necessarily own the rights to drill through walls. This person has 4 of them. I didn't know you could stack them. I thought it was one and done, like 1 pair per circuit, but this person has 4 and are just using it as a switch, and I am terrified. The Wi-Fi card doesn't see any network. Can you fix it? A good place to start when hooking up your Wi-Fi antenna is to hook it up to the antenna ports. I forget what these are called, RS something something. But the little tiny ones, little tiny circles, the ones that these will actually clip into, that's where the antenna goes. I believe the other 2 are grounded screw mounting positions. Who put this together? NAS went down last night. Who needs cooling? That giant fan thing shouldn't be up, on top of the CPU or anything. Did it take all your RAM with it, or did you just pull out all the RAM? Or no, never mind, sorry, there's 2 sticks there. They just blended in. Oops! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, how do you do that? Oh, you had to have dropped it. Oh God. Yeah, camera stuff. As a YouTuber, I have some camera gear. It's very expensive. I have like 3 lenses for my giant Sony camera, and almost all of them cost more than a laptop. So this is just heartbreaking. I'm sorry for your loss. Old laptop that I striped served me well, lasted surprisingly long on my wall. Oh, you stripped it. Yeah, no, there are some laptop boards that'll just run for ages. And especially if you yank them out of the case like this and give them all the cooling they can eat, the heat is the death of laptops. Like if you can get your laptop well ventilated, it'll last much longer. This poor laptop had a very negligent owner. The last one? Cause, never mind, sorry. How many times did they hit the enter key? I almost want to say they were video editing because I and O, in and out points, are really beat up too. What in the world? I would also question like what the laptop owner was doing, because if they're working in construction or something like that and the laptop is going to get used to heaven and back, like some laptops aren't going to look pretty, after they've been on a construction site for 3 years.